Shalom, shalom. Happy Thursday and welcome to the Nexus, our Thursday night get together where we discuss all things Torah, all things biblical, and anything you would like to discuss, current events, and more. I'm James, aka the Idol Smasher. Rosalie Jordan, my
Good evening.
My good friend over here. Maybe we'll get to John Gishla to stop by, and you are welcome as well. There's a link right over. Oh, I didn't put the link in yet. Well, folks, let's get to that. Over here in the chat is going to be a link to StreamYard, and that means that you click on that and you have a microphone. You can come in here live and we can chat. Otherwise, we'll take your questions, comments, compliments, complaints, suggestions, and more in the chat area. Or if you'd like to email me, James the Idol Smasher at gmail.com. We're getting over here on Rumble, which we've had, of course, great reception for and very thankful for.
Yes.
Having them here, so and you know, this is the free speech platform. Let's just say it for what it is.
Right.
So there's going to be a link over there. Click on that, and you are in like Flynn.
Yes.
Matzora is this week's Torah portion, and it deals with the remedy for tsaras, for the biblical leprosy, not the same leprosy you get from that armadillos get that we get. This is a biblical. It's called tsaras, and it's a you know, all
it's a spiritual.
Yeah, our spiritual in nature. This one even more so because it stands out on you where everybody sees it. If you know, we're talking, you know, 3,000 years ago, Israelites weren't exactly, you know, living in Europe yet, so they're still brown, still quite, you know, dark. And if you know, if you get a white splotch on your skin and the hair turns white too, it stands out. So I guess it'd be kind of an embarrassment, huh? I mean,
you think? Yeah, I'd say so.
So we deal with that. We've got a few other laws in there. We're going to get a Torah study. So so stay tuned for that. We're going to get a Haftorah reading and everything. We'll get over to Rumble and get into the good stuff. But right now, let me open everything up here and make sure everybody's in. When it comes
while you're sitting there with dead airspace, I would like to say to everybody, Happy Pesach this Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes, we cannot forget that. So I just wanted to say that to everybody right now before I forget. And I hope you have a very smooth Pesach, and I hope it's memorable. And I hope that everything goes relatively smoothly for everybody involved in Israel and everywhere else.
Kind of catching on all sides over there.
I know.
We've been living under a rock. Israel had a barrage of rockets sent to it and knocked them all down. Knocked them from orbit. Knocked them with lasers in the ground. So it's like a fireworks sky. When you watch these rockets, they were coming down and then boom, it just kind of exploded there in space. So everything's working on Israel's side. I think they were just trying to see how things work.
They're baiting us. They're baiting us, the United States.
I wouldn't doubt it. We'll see how that goes. I'm not happy with our president. Man's a dumbass. And he's just a rotten human being, a horrible, rotten human being. Same goes to that nasty ass wife of his. He's terrible. Okay, you know, threatening to pull aid, which is threatening to get out of a business deal, is what it is. Right when the Jews need us the most. He gives our enemies weapons. He gives Iran weapons. There's a reason why. Anyway, we went into that a bit last week. Yeah, our country's going to pay for that. Also, want to give a real shout out quick to the folks in Dubai out there in the UAE. That's insane what's going on. I've only seen video, but
the flooding?
Oh, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And it's
they got a year's worth of rain. They got a year's worth of rain in one day.
Yeah. I saw stuff blowing down the street pipes. Just you know, stuff you'd see in a tornado or a hurricane. This is just wind and rain, apparently. And for anybody out there, I know Tim Pool likes to he doesn't do his own research on a lot of things. cloud seeding is a real thing. It's an industry. Yes, there is real. They know how to seed clouds. And always say, yeah, you can watch them. Well, those aren't chemtrails; those are contrails. Contrails don't stick and expand and collect moisture in the atmosphere and get bigger and bigger. Okay, cloud seeding is a science. They've been doing it for a long time. They do it everywhere. Can it be weaponized? Absolutely. Absolutely. You should not fear when the government sprays your skies to make clouds. Why are you doing this? Are they going to tell you that it's because, we did enough nuclear tests to blow a hole in the, we're repairing things maybe? Do they really want to control the weather? So cloud seeding is real. Is this
plague number one?
So, there is when I was in Oklahoma City as a reporter or newscaster, really, there's a company out west because the drought was so bad. They hired a company to come in and cloud seed, and we had one hell of it was Oklahoma City caught a lot of stuff. I mean, we had 3 storms that would come in from 3 different directions and just descend on the city, and hail and tornadoes and winds. So a lot of people claimed that particular year was so bad because they were messing with the weather out west, to get rid of the drought. Right. So it is real. It is the real deal. It's not a conspiracy theory. They're not trying to poison
you. Just find clouds and throw some dry ice in it. Seed it with dry ice. That helps.
That's how they used to get rid of hurricanes that were coming to our shores. They would go up in airplanes and dump a bunch of dry ice, and that would drive them all south. And South America would call up, and Mexico call up and say, "Hey, stop sending us your tornadoes." It's true.
Yep.
So don't think it's a conspiracy theory. It is quite possible. I wouldn't put it past Iran to do anything at this point. And they say they want regime change. I think a good, nice few parking lots of glass would do Iran.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm a very bad person, but when it comes to people who want they want to exterminate people, not good.
Yeah. When you point your finger at somebody, 3 point back at you. Just remember that.
And you're only going to fight God in the end. It's still little to do.
But wait, there's more.
So let's see. Quick look at let's look at this week's Parsha. I want to get past. Let me get my microphone all set up here. I want to get past the area. Okay. I'd like to get past the area about clearing Saras. There's a lot there, but you're put outside the camp. You have to offer up. You have to clean your clothes. You have to, this all has to be done outside of camp. You come back in, you offer
shave off all his hair and immerse himself in water and become clean. Okay. Then on the 7th day, he shall shave off all of his hair, that is, have his head, his beard, his eyebrows, and indeed all his hair, and he shall shave it off. Then he shall immerse his garments and immerse his flesh in water and become clean. That's on the 7th day.
You have to make a burnt offering. It's really intricate what goes on here.
Yes.
They're supposed to offer a lamb or turtle doves. Young doves, one is a burnt offering. So here we go. Go to the Cohen. The Cohen takes care of it. Let me get past this because there's something interesting I had planned out. And of course, I'm running behind as I do every day. Rosalie, I've had like stupids for the past 2 days. It's almost like everybody I run into is.
Oh, I know.
Stupid. I'm stupid and mean, obviously. I can't. I mean, there's something in the air.
Oh yeah, it's been extremely stressful. I know. It's like my medicine. It's like my high blood pressure medicine isn't holding, and you can just feel the stress in the air. But if that's the worst they can do, is just give us stress. We shall overcome. Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
It would be enough. Die, enu, die, enu, die, enu, die, enu. There we go.
When we went, okay, so yeah, this was interesting. I thought in this week's Parsha, there's a link to it down below, in the description. Right now we're in Vayikra, Leviticus, currently chapter 15. And I think it goes, okay, yeah, and from 15 it's about tsaras, because tsaras can also be on you. It can also be on your house or your clothing. Yep. It affects a lot. It's like if it's on your house, you actually have to clean your house. Like you have to be clean. You have to clean everything in your house to get rid of it. And it's a spiritual disease on a physical, non-living object.
I know, like your leather goods, you got to get rid of them. You know, there's like, shoes, so your bedding, the whole bit.
And after that, in the next chapter in 15, and we have different examples of uncleanliness. It's not necessarily uncleanliness, but if you and your wife copulate,
that's at 16.
You go all the way, you're unclean. And that's the start of it. But to show, God says, be fruitful and multiply. That means you just can't bring an offering yet. But that kind of discharge, immerse in water, they're unclean. Menstruation, you're unclean while you menstruate. That means you don't bring an offering to the temple. It has nothing to do with being a filthy person. Because the temple has to be kind of clean as well. So we get different levels of what it means. The one who touches the bedding of someone who had tsaras is also unclean. Anyone who touches it is unclean. Menstruation as well. If the garments that it touches, you can't. If you touch them, you have to be unclean. You can't bring for the day, and you don't bring an offering to God. It's real simple. It's not that you're a terrible human being. So the punishment, the death of the perpetrator and his offering is attached to an unclean person who enters the sanctuary, thus defiling it. That's from Numbers 19:13. We see from here that this incurred by someone unclean who defies the sanctuary is also referred to as the is that Matzora? No,
What?
Death penalty from heaven, although in other contexts refers to the death of the perpetrator, but not his offspring. So you don't die. This is, you could die for this. It could cause pain, just like bringing strange fire. Zap, boom, dead.
Yep.
So want to get into that. Just kind of go over it. It's an interesting procedure. What the Kohen goes through, what the person goes through. I think this is probably more detailed than just about any other type of remedy or offering that we see. And it's quite often that's seen as it's probably the worst sin is, of course, evil speech. And what do we have in America? Nothing but what's put into our heads. What do they say to us? I'm not saying the American people do this, but certainly all the media and press they take in, I would say 90% of it now is evil speech.
Oh, absolutely.
Where they just lie, cheat, and steal from us.
Make it up as they go.
Shalom, John. Welcome back. How you doing, my man?
They make it up as they go, huh? What are we talking about?
Hag Sameach on Tuesday.
What's going on, Hag Sameach?
Well, I'm just kind of going through some of the stuff. We were talking about the tsaras and the remedies in this week's Parsha, and of course the causes of it. And another good example of evil speech is the media, who are there to piss you off one way or another. I don't care if you're a conservative or a liberal or libertarian or whatever. They will find a way to piss you off. And the one that pisses you off the best is the one you stick with. It's kind of funny how that works out. But
okay. Right.
So, but anyways, about to do a little Haftorah reading and get on over to Rumble exclusively.
Mhm.
We got a whole bunch of stuff, and I really don't want to get in trouble on Facebook or on YouTube. Apparently, they're zapping Tim Pool's old, IRL podcast events where he is a person over for an interview. 5 or 6 people talk. They took down a few of his biggest because there's an election coming up.
Mhm.
So I don't even want to give them the satisfaction of.
Don't even give them the chance, right? Don't even.
Yeah. Eyeballs. Oh. Eyeballs. Hi there. How you doing? My pet fly has glasses.
Okay.
All my friends make fun of my pet fly every day. They call him 400 eyes. They're so mean. All right. 2 Kings, chapter 7, verse 3. This is in that link. You'll see at the top of the page, the link that I gave you. It'll be first portion, second portion. On up after the 7th, it says Haftarah, a section of the Hebrew Bible directly pertaining to the Torah portion we read this week, but is not from the Torah. 2 Kings, chapter 7, start on verse 3. I want to take a drink of my lemonade. I am.
Okay. Oh, where'd you go? There you go.
And now there were 4 men stricken with Matzora at the entrance of the gate. And they said to each other, "Why are we sitting here until we die? If we say that we will not come into the city with the famine in the city, we will die there. And if we stay here, we will die. So now let us go and let us defect to the Armenian camp. If they spare us, we will live. If they kill us, we will die." That's some logic right there, isn't it?
Yeah, oxymoron if I ever thought.
And they arose in the evening to come to the Aramean camp. And they came to the edge of the Aramean camp, and behold, no one was there. Now the Lord had caused the Aramean camp to hear the sound of the chariots and the sound of the horses and the sound of a great army. And they said to one another, "Behold, the king of Israel has hired for us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to attack us." And they picked themselves up and fled at dusk, leaving behind their tents, their horses, and their donkeys, the camp as it was, and they fled for their lives. Now these Mizorim came to the edge of the camp, entered one tent, ate and drank, and carried off from there silver, gold, and clothing. They went and hid them. And they returned and entered another tent, and carried off from there, and they went and hid them. No one said to one another, "We are not doing right. This day is a good day, is a good news. We are not doing right. This day is a day of good news, yet we are keeping quiet. If we wait until daybreak, we will incur guilt. Now let us go and come and relate this in the king's palace." And they came and called to the gatekeepers of the city and told them, saying, "We came to the Aramean camp, and behold, there is no man there, nor the sound of a human, but the horses are tethered, and the donkeys are tethered, and the tents are as they were." And they called the gatekeepers, and they related it to the king's palace inside. And the king arose at night and said to his servants, "Now I will tell you what the Arameans have done to us. They know that we are hungry, so they left the camp to hide in the field, saying, when they come out of the city, we will seize them alive and enter the city." Now one of the servants called out and said, "Let them take now 5 of the remaining horses that are left there. Behold, they are like all the multitude of Israel that are left there. Behold, they are like all the multitude of Israel that have perished. And let us send, and we will see." So they took up riders of horses, and the king sent them after the Aramean camp, saying, "Go and see." And they followed them up to the Jordan, and behold, all the way was full of garments and vessels that the Arameans had cast off in their haste. And the messengers returned and related it to the king. And the people went out and plundered the Aramean camp, and a seah of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 sheaves of barley were sold for a shekel, according to the word of the Lord. Now the king appointed the officer upon whose hand he leaned over the gate, and the people trampled him, and he died, as the man of God had spoken, which he spoke when the king had come down on him. And it was when the man of God had spoken to the king, saying, 2 seahs of barley will be sold for a shekel, and a seah of fine flour will be sold at this time tomorrow in the gate of Samaria, that the officer answered the man of God, saying, and behold, if God makes windows in the sky, will this one come about? And he said, behold, you will see it with your own eyes, yet you shall not eat therefrom. And so it happened to him that the people trampled him in the gate, and he died.
Wow.
Thus ends this week's.
Good reading. Thank you, James.
My pleasure.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, we're going to get into some good stuff and some heavy topics I want to talk about. I'm going to pull the gloves off. So we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. Thank you for having us there, YouTube. Thanks for keeping our dozens and dozens and dozens of shows from years past. It's on there. In the meantime, though, it's time to keep on keeping on.